Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials, and in this tutorial we'll look how to create underwater scene. So we'll begin by creating terrain that will represent our floor for the bottom for our scenery. So let's stretch, and have you noticed I'm stretching from the sides? If you stretch from sides it does increase overall proportion. Example, if we go from this corner and stretching, you can see how it's increasing height. And I don't want this, so when I just want to increase sides without going up proportionally, I'll just go on the sides right here and can stretch from this. So in this case you can stretch without increasing proportions. Okay, so let's go right now, go edit our object, our terrain. Okay, I want to reset it, and what I want to do, I want make it 2048 by 2048 resolution. So next we're going, and the reason why, okay, let me just show you. So if we do 512 and we're going to do dunes, you see we have a few dunes. So let's increase our resolution higher, and when we click now it's take a little bit longer, but it's because high resolution we had much more of them. Okay, reset, and let's click one more on dunes. Okay, it's done. Let's click OK. So right here we have our dunes. Next things, I want to make it a bit flatter. Here's a kind of like ocean floor maybe representing. And let's change our material. We're going to rocks, and we'll just select the sand. Click OK. One thing, if we preview right now, you notice the lines doesn't align it, because I want to go them parallel to these lines. So let's go to edit material. We'll go to the bump section, right click and go edit function. And one thing what we need change direction of this. So let's say here we want 0.7, and right here we want to be max. So just press down 9, hold it till it's go all the way, and just once click up, so it will give it to infinity. Let's click OK. Also maybe we want to decrease just slightly so they won't be so obvious. Click OK, and in this case if we look, we can see we kind of realign them going parallel with our terrain with all those hills. Of course, if you want it, we can scale down, make them a little bit smaller, the lines with other things. Also I noticed we have it right here in some place, we have it normal ground. So let's click on the ground and change this to the just sand, path and sand. Okay, and now let's create our water scene. So we'll just add water layer. Let's bring it a little bit above the camera, so right here we can see it. Kind of nice already looking. But what is main, it's add correct atmosphere. Let me change one thing. Let me go to, because I want to make this a little bit more wide kind of angle. Okay, let's go to atmosphere, load atmosphere, and in other section you have it underwater. So it's very good to begin. It's very nice done water. One thing only what I like to modify is go to atmosphere editor, and I like switch this to volumetric model. The reason is why, because now in the fog and haze, if I want, I can add more kind of distance, more milky looking water. And mostly if you set colors a little bit darker, so it will have it better looking on this kind of milky water. So just give you a little bit more play around with the settings. So we have this one. Let's go click on the sun right now, and be sure the sun you uncheck the point at the camera. I'll just move camera a little bit right on the side, align down right here, and make like it's going from the a little bit from the angle. So we have it interesting with this position. We have a nice interesting shadows start appearing on our sand floor. Okay, let's create. We will come back a little bit more to the lighting, but now let's create little interesting some details maybe on our floor. We'll create one rock, increase a little bit in size, a little bit higher, maybe on the side. Okay, let's move it. So we have a nice composition for the rock. Let's switch our material, and I have some material we did before, kind of from Geekatplay in our pack, but we can apply any other one. We have this material, and next I want to create one more terrain. Okay, except when I edit this terrain, I want to increase resolution. Create mountains, so let's look a bit rougher. Bring it a little bit down, so we have it almost, let's look like it is rock kind of looking. Okay, and let's replace with same. Okay, we can just maybe a little bit adjusting. And here is actually, in a way, how you like to kind of playing with presettings. So overall, what I want to show you some tips you can create kind of nicely done with your atmosphere and with your presets. So it doesn't look very good. We probably want to create just a little bit more mountains in this case. Put it down. There you go. Yeah, that one will look a little bit more interesting. Okay, take our rock and repositioning. Also on this terrain, maybe bring slightly higher. Okay, so this is good for terrain, and you know what? Let's add a couple things to this terrain. Let's go to open and add ecosystem. And we can add a plant. Let's go seaweed. And maybe one more, the coral. Okay, if you always think you want a little bit more, for example, of the seaweed, you can increase your presence, so when you start populating, it will create more of them. Right now we have it 0 instance because we have it on the density, we have it influence, so let's uncheck influence. Now we have it more of the items, maybe just increase a little bit more density. Okay, one other things what I like to do, let's check this one. Let's change our water, and for this scenery actually I want to use a tropical, and I want to actually also make like light streaks going, you know, like sunshine. So what we're going to do, we'll create a quadratic light. We'll just put it about where the sun. Let's tilt it a little bit this way, pop up a little bit more, and we'll enable also volumetric light. So to add more strikes, what we need to do, going to edit light, we'll go to the gel, click enable gel, double time click again, and let's load it. We have a nice collection of the light gels. So I'll just select Gauss stick. Other things you also can, if you want, you can decrease. I like to make it a little bit smaller, so we have it more lights going through. And as well, if you want it, you can create a little bit sharper by adding points, and you can see how we can make it a little bit darker. So we remove this grayish areas, it will make a little bit sharper looking. Okay, click OK. So you already can see how light's going through. So we have it OK here. We'll just show shadow enabled. Okay, and let's spread, because right now it's a little bit narrow. We're going to spread and make it a bit bigger. It's going through all of those angles. Even at this point, if we already are looking right now, you can see how the with lights and everything it's looking. So in preview mode, we can see the lights going streaks and scenery. Couple of things, we can go in the water, and in transparency we can a little bit decrease murky, so it will look a little bit more clear water. Okay, this is one way. Other things that I want to show you, it is, let's add some details. So we'll go right here, have it coral, just a little bit closer to the camera. Let's add seaweed. And actually take this seaweed and put one is very close to the camera on the side. And the other one just a little bit behind. Oops. So we'll just add more details. Okay, let's create one more coral, maybe on the side right here. So positioning our nice looking details. Also, let's go to File, Load Object, and let's have it nice like shipwreck. This is a free model from Cornucopia, and I recommend go on Cornucopia. You can find a lot of very nice items there. So we'll just take this shipwreck and move it a little bit on the back. Okay, position. There you go. Let's add a fish now. We'll go File, load another object. We'll go to quadratic, and we'll just start adding different type of fish. And of course, one thing is when you add fish, most of them school fish, so we'll just hold down Alt button and we'll just replicate it several of them. Okay. Let's go select them again. Click now Alt again and just make it readjusting. So we have it more fish going around. Let's go see what else we have it. We have it there. It's color fish. We'll just put like on the side right here. Let's make it a bit bigger so we can see. And add more other fish. And here is how much patience you have it and how much of the stuff you want to add. You can add as many details as you want it. So let's load it one more. Okay. We'll just turn this way. One thing is this point, if we're right now checking on image, they look a little bit dark. It's interesting to add some lighting to this to bring more details. So let's create one more light, same quadratic light. We'll just put it right here with camera, and we point towards our front, and we'll spread lights. Decrease brightness. This will bring some details, but what's happening on this front planes, I want them to be dark. I don't want them be light. I just want to light up something more on the back. So to do this, let's see, we have it, our fishes right here, and when highlight quadratic spotlight, we'll go to edit anywhere and go to influence tab. And one thing, whatever you need to check, it's all object except. So and we'll just uncheck the our seaweeds. Click OK. So and if you notice right now when we start rendering, every will be light up except those we select not. And by playing with colors you can add a little bit more depth in your scenery. So I think this is look actually very interesting already. We could add more rocks on the bottom of the ocean, work a little bit, but overall what I want to show you how to create underwater sea with the light strikes going through, some caustic reflection. Also a couple of things we can modify. We can go inside the sun, okay, and we can edit shadows, and be sure just enable use shadows here as well. This will just give it more details to our caustic. Okay, here's our scenery, and a couple of other points I want to show you. It is in the water. Sometimes you want to check the ecosystem button, so it will allow you to populate with more stuff without influence. or you don't need to do this, you can just paint over. Okay, and I think this is a nice image, so let's go switch to our higher mode. Okay, sphere editor, let's see what we have as the lighting. I'll just add a little bit better lighting in this case, and let's render our final image. Okay, so here's our final image, and you can see how we creating underwater scene, apply the atmosphere, add light striking, Gaussian effect on a ocean, little bit you can see with the darker. Also manipulating with the lights will show how you can exclude some object from additional light source, so it will add a little bit more details and realistic in your view. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please come and visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.